Bet. The other side of the view. And we got a special guest this week. We apologize for last week. We got really caught up. A lot of family things. Anybody with a family would definitely understand. We love y'all, so make sure we're here. And we brought a phenomenal guest today. And his name actually is John Phenom. John the Phenomenon. What's up, brother?
What's up, man?
How you doing?
Great.
Of course, Deb's here. Gotta say what's up to Deb. We actually got a tech guy today in the house. His name's Brian. He could probably say what's up from the back.
What's up?
Yeah, period. So they wanted me to pick a controversial topic, and didn't have a whole lot of time to prepare today, so all we have is Aquafina. So we're going to try to keep it wet. And I want to talk about, why do I got to be light-skinned? That is going to be the topic today to start. I think it's a dope one.
You said it like it's a bad thing, though.
But it is, and it can be, just because of the perception of what we're looked at and how we're viewed by paler skinned people as well as darker skinned people, where I try to live in the world of no black, white. Everything's black and white. There's a gray area. But, you know, I have my people that are darker than me, and I have my people that are obviously lighter than me. Why is it so hard for light-skinned people to connect with dark-skinned people?
There's colorism in each race, in each ethnic group. I was reading this book. It's called One Day We'll All Be Dead and None of This Will Matter. It's the intense title.
Ooh,
but
super intense.
Yeah, but the purpose of it was she's got most of it scratched out, and then it says one day all of this will matter, or something like that. One day this will matter. But she is an Indian woman, so like,
okay.
But she traveled back home, and even with her ethnicity, she noticed the difference in light and dark complexion. So it's in every race, I think. Probably not so well. Even with Caucasian people, like redheads, kind of get it. Like people who are pale, who don't tan.
But it's like, for me, is if I feel strong about a situation that might happen to be going on in an urban area, and I feel a certain way about it, I've had people actually look at me, oh man, you really don't know. You ain't black. But at the same time, the same person be like, oh, well, your daddy was half black, so you black. And it's just like, well, damn. How's this work out? You know what I mean? Right. So I have never asked that question in my life.
I think you have to get to the root of it, and the root of it starts when races were formed in the late 1400s.
Okay.
And then came about white supremacy.
Okay.
And that was a social construct to dominate and control all of the resources of the world. So with that comes hierarchy,
which I've heard
within every race.
Got you. So there is no unity. Are we fighting a losing battle
In
then?
order to control,
No.
you have to separate.
That's almost, really? But in order to control, most definitely there has to be separation.
Classes.
My brother.
So even if in a race, you still need to have different classes. You have nobody.
Yes.
You can't keep. If everybody like united and everybody had unity, then they couldn't control them.
Period. And you know what? My brother told me that about the early days and the early settling of America, how you would have a plantation owner that owned the plantation. You might have the guy that's running the plantation is doing time, actually paying off a debt. He may have stole, he may have done something. He could.
A lot of those were the Irish.
Yes. So here, this person is now here, the buffer in between the actual plantation owner and then the actual worker. He's a worker working the debt off, but he's also in charge of this person here. He said, look at a construction crew. Look at a union. Look at anything, everything structured that way. You got the guy making $36,000 is here considered the middle guy. The guy making 20 doesn't know what the guy making 36 makes. He doesn't know what he knows. The guy making 36 doesn't know what the guy making 90's doing and understanding. They don't get together. The guy making 250 isn't around the guy making 90. The actual breakdown of communication of game breaks down all the way through. Nobody actually talks. Like union people don't talk to just, what do they call them? What do they call those guys? Like people that picket that come in, scabs. Like if there's a scab working next to a union guy, these guys aren't supposed to even talk to each other, is what I'm told.
I don't think there will ever be a scab working next
to a union guy. Or let's just say a non-union guy. A non-union guy working in a union shop. Like I've seen that happen. Where those two dudes do not, like if this guy tries to help this guy, says, nope, don't help him. This is what he's doing. And they tried to explain it to me, but for me, it sounded just like what you just said. There's like brackets. There's levels to this shit. And if we all got together, is what my brother said, then yeah, it would overthrow any kind of archy because the people obviously were the masses. Is that true?
Yes, and the civil rights played
That's deep.
a major part in the formulation and fight for labor unions in America too.
Yeah.
And they tell you that a lot of them in their history, like the UAW, they'll explain. They'll say, hey, if it wasn't for civil rights, we wouldn't be as strong.
True statement. Yeah. But that's the thing, though. I talked to like my grandma. I talked to my adopted family, and a lot of them were part of the Great Migration from the South back in the 20s. And they migrated to the east side of Toledo and then ended up over in the south end of Toledo. And talking to them, they looked at like a lot of the North and South different. It's like the South, everything was in your face. Everything was in your face. And it was based on race. And there was a lot of hate, a lot of stuff going on. So the North was supposed to be promising. Come up here, we're liberal. Come up here, we're equal. Come up here, we're cool. And you come up here, it's worse. What do you mean just as bad? It's worse.
It's like America, it's the dream.
Yeah, it's worse because it's inside. It's not said. It's on the face of the person. It's not actually out the mouth of the person anymore. It's almost like they'll look at you with a certain look of disgust versus down south, they'll be like, they'll just tell you how they feel.
Well, Martin Luther King said he's never seen so much ignorance and brutality regarding race as he's seen in Chicago.
I believe it. And that, again, is the Midwest. That's why I said it's odd. Like, I've been to 28 states, and the Midwest is displayed probably more indirect actual racism, meaning light skin, dark skin, pale skin, fair skin. It is displayed more disgust and distrust in actual color than any other place in the United States, and Canada, Mexico included.
Well, the light skin, dark skin thing within the black community was brought about from power.
Okay.
Power is simply the ability to reward and punish.
Okay.
So if I can reward a lighter skin and punish a darker skin,
okay,
I can create fusion within the two.
Okay. And he's, you know what? And it's weird because my brother explained it too. He said, looking at himself, had he been a tone darker, he said his life may have been a little harder. Had he been a shade lighter, maybe it would have been a little easier. Either way it went, it would have been a struggle, but it could have went either other way. And he said, I can point and point all day, if you want me to those that are a darker skin, that are trying just as hard with the same education, with the same senses of business, and may not make it to my field just because of their tone versus their actual ability, which I'm like, I don't really know about all that, but
my grandmother
makes sense.
Was very light.
Okay.
And she was extremely pro-black.
Okay.
She says she had never seen ill effects of race directly on her.
Okay.
But she knows she got rewarded due to her light skin.
Oh.
She said her colleagues and people would say, hey, you can pass for white. And she's like, why don't you pass for black? I love being black.
Right.
She never accept anything other than being black.
Period.
But for her to say that, I was just like, wow, that's interesting. She never felt any ill effects, she said. She claims.
Really?
She doesn't think.
You know what? And that's why when I came out here, to be honest, I said it. I was like, no, I went to Woodmore. I went to Woodmore High School, which is in the middle of Elmore, Ohio. Population 1,200 maybe. Then might have been 11 or 1,000. Coming from a 13-year-old from the south side of Toledo, it's my culture
I'd have been in jail.
And it's funny, and you know what, to bring up, like not off topic, I did 2 out of the 4 years out here in jail. I never in my life have gone to jail more times for a longer time than in the actual suburbia / rural areas, most definitely. Stroked. Clarence Carter stroked. All the time. So I really did 2 out of 4 locked up.
So what was it like standing in front of a judge in a town like this?
The same.
It was the same?
The absolute same. When it came to me and my feeling of speaking, it was the same thing. He holds power of time and of my life in his hands. So when it came to conform, to speak, to spit words at him, that's what mattered out here. This. This
think
really
somewhere
mattered
where,
out here.
A judge would be the same because it's that power thing. I think they're very.
Oh, they're
I
harsher.
Here?
Most definitely.
Yeah, I would think so.
Way more harsh when it comes to a person that's not from here. If you're what we call out here a transplant, that's what they call people that aren't from here that move here. They're transplanted. A transplant's getting stroked.
Okay.
You're getting stroked if you're a transplant. If you're not from here or you come out here and catch a case and you're from the city,
Okay.
It's like that in Las Vegas.
We'll
too.
holler at you.
Okay.
Vegas ain't any other
Vegas
state.
is like that,
You go to Florida and catch a case from Ohio, they gonna do you in because you're not from here. You didn't came here and cause some problems. Act like they ain't got no problems, but you didn't came here and cause some problems. So we gonna really give you what you're looking for. And I just got my transcripts for high school, right? Because I went back to high school. So I just got my transcripts back. Do you know I only needed 1.5 academic credits to graduate?
Wait, so you took home ec?
Yeah. Me and my wife met in home ec. Me and my fiance actually met in home ec life skills class, and now we got a kid living. This is weird.
Now you're living it.
Right, living the skills. Man, we got to go back to school to work on these skills. I don't mean, yeah, I do. I mean that shit. I love you, baby. 2.5 ounces per 1 pound of clothes. That's right. It cost $18 at the laundromat for 4 loads. I be on my shit, definitely. But no, it was out here was completely different when it came to the consensus of the way you spoke to people and the way they spoke to you. The problem was the way people spoke to you. We're in the city, Detroit, Toledo, obviously Toledo. We move quicker when a person speaks ill. Here, they move way slower. They can call you out. You can call each other out your name out here. You get to sit to argue. You might push each other a couple times and they want a hand fly. So when a guy says, oh, fuck you, and you punch them in the mouth, there's a big problem. They don't understand that out here. It's where, why did you hit me in the mouth? I'm like, why did you say fuck you to me? You know what I mean? And they're like, well, it didn't have to go that far. And it says you. You know what I mean? It says you. You didn't think it needed to go that far. But as far as I'm concerned, it needed to go beyond that. You spoke stupid and ill. You know, and it's no different in the city. It's no different in a dark-skinned person. But the thing is, I knew then, in the city, learning in the city, you had to react quick. If you didn't react quick, then we about to make a t-shirt for you. Yeah, you gonna get a t-shirt soon.
It's like more of a war zone.
It is, and it affects you in life, like in the long haul, where your reactions.
PTSD.
Yeah.
You know what? I didn't think it was real.
No, I think every person.
I was wrong.
Every person who grew up in the hood has PTSD.
I believe it. I'm real big on not labeling people. I believe that. I think will is that power next to love.
It's really a simple concept, though.
But it really is. If you've gone through something so traumatic, continuous, over and over and over, even if it's just your mama thrashing.
I mean, let's say you could.
You know what I mean?
Beat a kid and then do this, and they're gonna be like, that's PTSD. They're like,
My son's got PTSD, yo. I was spanking him. And I was spanking. My voice raised. He go, and I commit. So I guess
to a degree.
Now I feel horrible.
That's a slight.
That's slight. Is that discipline or
that's
is
that's okay. That's an okay PTSD.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal. I'm just Michael. I don't know what to say about all that.
I realized I had PTSD on the 4th of July some years back. Really? I was asleep and I heard the fireworks outside my window, and I was.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, oh man, I'm tripping.
And see, mine doesn't hit like that. It's where sounds don't get me. It's like it's in me. It's not on me. It's in me.
You're so used to it.
Yes. It's got to the point where any of that, I'm beyond used to it, but it's where the reactions to people's ignorance is people's stupidity. When I was raised to go get this water. If I come back with juice, I'm getting it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Hey, can you? I said,
most
be here.
Black families.
I was raised again. My mama was definitely from Missouri, and Daddy was from Mississippi. The ones that adopted me and took me in at 7, and we moved to Belmont in '86. So that's when the war's on. Belmont Junction.
Belmont. Belmont Junction in '86. I was right around the corner on Hawley.
See, literally right around the corner. And I probably had to have seen you around there.
Did you go to Pickett?
I went to Stewart.
Oh, nice.
My sister went to Pickett. They wouldn't put us in the same school. They didn't want us in the same school. They said, I don't want you two around each other unless it's in this house. You two are knuckleheads. And we did everything together, and we got whooped together for it. So if we had a house of unity. We had a house of, what would I say, ownership. Meaning your ass owned nothing in here but your bad decisions. That's the only thing you owned in that house was your bad decisions. You don't even own the grace for your good decisions. Literally. Like, your congratulations and good job and pat on the back wasn't even really all yours. You were assisted in that. So you got the right to A, be quiet, be a child, and listen to what you're told. So as I grew up, I thought that's how you parented. Obviously.
That's how a lot of people were parented.
I think that's great parenting.
You think so?
I don't think it's
I
horrible.
think we went too far away from it nowadays.
Yeah.
Seen and not heard though?
I think it gets
Not
diluted.
completely, but yeah.
I
Kids got way too much power. As a child, you shouldn't have that much free will and choice.
I think we keep inching away from it.
No,
Because the next generation says, oh, that's a little extreme.
Yes.
The next one says, that was a little extreme.
No,
The next one says, that was a little extreme.
Listen to this though.
Yes.
I'm like stuck in between because I get it. I understand it because that's kind of how it's like the seen and not heard. I don't like the extreme of seen and not heard because I'm a human being. Yeah, I did. I mean, like, you kind of peek your head out the door.
Right.
Whenever you come out, say hi, and then go away. But how I look at, like, my kids, like, I look at them like, they're human beings. Like, for me, my daughters, this gets me. I'm still not there yet, but she's in the 2nd grade, and she's got a crush on a boy.
Okay.
But when I was in the 2nd grade, I had a crush on a boy.
Okay.
And it didn't, it doesn't go any further than that. And so I think when you don't let kids speak, and you tell them, you kind of make them feel like they're not human beings, like they're not people,
not open to communicating.
Not open to communicating. Right. So I felt like that's what it.
I don't know. We could speak, but again, it was just you had to really watch what you said and how you presented your case.
But you're still a human. Like
you're a human being.
You're still having a life experience, just like on a smaller scale. Like they have the same life experiences that we have. Like we have crushes on people. We find people attractive. They do too. They're humans. But just like their hormones aren't crazy like ours, and then they don't have the extra stresses of bills and shit.
True.
They're a little protected.
But with that, you have to protect them.
You have to protect them, yeah. So for me, like having that realization that, oh my God, my daughter's got a crush. No, you can't have a crush. But then it's I can't stop them from having life experiences because I did the same thing. I just have to.
I think now, like you have
guide
to
her.
I think you have to guide her now.
Yeah.
Growing up. Like us growing up in a different generation.
Yeah.
Hide and go get it. I'll use that as an example. It was something that was played.
I played it.
Okay, cool. So John's like
I
missed that. John's like I didn't play that. He didn't go and mention this shit. Okay, we all played it.
You just hug and kiss.
But here's the catch though. Here's the catch though. At 10 years old, what did I get? I didn't know what to get. TV didn't show me what to get. Games didn't show me what to get. Music didn't tell me what to get. When I actually got it, I didn't even get it.
Yeah, it was just hugging a kiss.
It wasn't even all that. Like, it was really, I got you. And then, now what?
It was like hug, kiss, dry hump.
It wasn't even a dry hump.
I didn't even go as far as dry hump.
It wasn't even a dry hump, to be completely honest. I didn't know what a dry hump was. And it's because of, my mom wasn't on that, you playing around on that TV. You didn't own that. You didn't pay for the electric either. So now you're not about to sit up in here, sit up in the house watching TV. No, how about this? Get that rag. Get that bucket.
Yeah.
Why? Because that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
So before I go to work, I'm doing these blinds.
I couldn't
vertical blinds.
I couldn't sleep past 10 o'clock.
Take the vertical blind. What?
No matter what.
10.
Even as a teenager.
10.
I would come in drunk the night before.
Ooh.
And think,
you had
just forget about it.
Yeah, Grace.
Get up!
Yeah, get up.
Come out in this garage. We're cleaning the garage. What?
Yeah, if you want like a free day, you got to make sure the whole house is clean.
Boy, I got woke up getting the ass whooping because I didn't finish the papers. Oh, what you talking? I done fell asleep like this on the Sunday paper. Go.
Oh, not the Sunday.
Putting inserts. Knocked out. Come on.
See, that feels good work ethic.
It does.
Bro, I've never not worked.
Same here.
Paper route, we shovel snow, we cut grass, we rake leaves. Every season had a hustle.
Nowadays don't do that.
I keep my own.
Which is crazy. 5 alarm, you making 100 or more a day.
A little boy knocked on my door. I think it was like the day before Halloween or something, a couple of years ago. And I didn't have many leaves. But he's like, Hey man, can I rake your leaves? Cause I want to get a Halloween costume tomorrow.
That's dope.
You thought? I didn't think so.
No?
No. I'm
What'd you
like, dude,
You
you should have been out here when I had leaves.
You ain't let him
yeah.
rake it?
Nah, they had no leaves.
You didn't give him something to do?
No. I said, look.
Damn!
I said,
Savage.
I tried to teach him.
Hold on,
Yeah.
Dev. I'm
I'm
scooting
like,
over here.
I said, you
Hold on,
gotta,
Dev, how you doing?
you
I
can't,
get away from John. John's savage as fuck.
look, you can't wait till you're hungry to plant a seed.
That's true.
You know, like that, you should have been out here. Where was you at when I had leaves?
Why you gonna give him economical lessons?
I had to
though?
because in my day
That
I
was
would have been
dope.
out there.
I feel you. I feel you. But we were taught to be out there.
Right.
Maybe he wasn't taught to be
That's
out
what I was
He
teaching
knows
him.
now.
Right.
When it starts snowing, he can be the first one knocking on the door.
No, he never came back. This is
No.
like 2 years.
Fuck out, he come
I'm
back.
scared to come here.
I wouldn't have came nowhere and be like, he don't want
You
nobody
should
to
hoping
do
he
nothing.
did, though.
You gonna be the old guy. Don't go to Mr. Clark's house.
I was
Yeah.
hoping.
He don't
hoping
ever
did
get
come
nobody
back,
no
though.
work.
I'm like,
That-
I hope he does come back.
That was
Oh,
cool
sorry.
though,
But
because
he
you
didn't
don't
come
see
back.
that.
No, that I've never had anybody walk up to me, honestly, anywhere I've lived and ask if the Florida. My neighbor Tron started a business with a mower. He said, I will do your lawn. Weed whack, mowed, and trim. Not trim. Weed whack, blown, and mowed. $10 a week, $50 a month.
You know what?
And he had me at a low.
In these kids' defense, as a parent, my kids ask me if they can go mow people's lawns, and I'm like, hell no, you're not going to somebody's house. And I mean, not that I don't want them to have the work ethic, but I don't
Your
trust
kids don't be
people.
You don't
strapped?
trust people.
I was playing. I
I
was
know,
joking.
right? No,
Like, they ain't got it?
Small
Y'all got
town.
that iron on it? What's going on,
Back
Derek?
in my day, we were all right. I'm about to go mow some
I'm
lawn.
gonna put this on right quick. This is case trying to take my 750.
But as a parent, it's scary sending your kids
it
like,
is.
yeah.
Especially
so,
in today's climate.
yeah.
All right, real quick, switch.
Mhm.
Presidential election.
Uh-oh.
John, what do you think? Is this a farce? Does it even matter? That's the
To
question.
me,
Is the presidential election a farce?
I'm going to tell you what.
Does it even matter?
To me,
John.
it's a big horse and pony show.
Okay.
I'm not Democrat or Republican.
Okay.
I think they're two fangs on the same snake.
Ooh.
It doesn't even matter.
I've never heard that before.
Doesn't even matter. They're both as crooked as crooked can be.
Period.
It's all a show.
Okay.
And it doesn't really matter if you're economically secure. It doesn't matter.
Period. Deb.
Same. It's you're voting for the lesser two evils. Like you're basically voting for your who you want to serve, who you want to be your master. I don't want you to be my master.
Period.
Yeah.
Killer Mike said that too.
Yeah.
Same thing. Like we are fighting over who's got the best master. Like that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Do you think it's the same on a lower level? Meaning here? Meaning locally?
No.
Do you think that's where all the change really has to start?
I don't. You know what? Shout out to the Italian Americans.
Ooh.
Shout out to them. They really, for hundreds of years, they've known. They come over knowing
Okay.
what people today are not even getting yet.
Really?
Yeah.
Which is?
To buy in. Buy in and raise in.
Okay.
For instance, raise a politician, raise a police officer,
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
Got you. Oh, they've
Fund
always
them.
been big at that. They've always been big for that.
fund them
True
at the
statement.
same time.
True statement.
So 10, 20 years from now, you know the mayor, he's
Yeah.
your buddy from your neighborhood.
They're strategic. They're
You know,
strategic as
right.
shit, man. They really
Right.
are.
You know the police chief. he's
Shout
a
out
good
to the
friend of
Italian
yours.
Americans, man.
Right.
Yeah,
No,
most
that-
of them
yeah,
are
they're
strategic
smart,
as
yeah.
shit. They are strategic.
They
when it
came
comes to
over
that.
strategic. So, and then they come over.
Well, they
like,
came over with
we're
an
gonna
ulterior
commit
motive.
crime.
Well, they had an ulterior motive again.
You don't want to give us jobs, we're going to get money.
Oh, we'll create a union.
Right.
We'll make this
We'll
go
make-
that way.
But then eventually, we'll own Vegas.
Yeah.
I mean-
And Miami. And Detroit.
Right.
And Chicago. And Cleveland. Yeah, anywhere
Right,
where there's
right.
something big rocking like that. Yeah.
You know, they
definitely
went in-
have
they
a
went
vibe
in
like
rough,
that. Oh,
come
they
out
had
smooth.
it bad. They had it really bad. Like,
Mhm.
American is sense. And let me, okay, so
Yeah, but, and two, they were considered niggas in the beginning. Too.
only the Sicilians.
Yeah.
Only the Sicilians because of the Moors.
Right.
And the raid
Right.
of the Moors through Sicily, which is a deep part.
But-
You know about that? The Moors in Sicily and Italy. And
I'm gonna research it
I'm
now.
gonna catch you up on
But
that.
after time, after the Caucasians were lowering in numbers and losing, they said, nah, we're going to give you guys privileges like us. You're white now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're part of the caucus.
They don't even want to be considered white either.
Yeah,
They're
but they weren't socially considered.
Oh, here they weren't considered.
Right.
But like to Europe, they're obviously like the geographically.
In America, racially, the numbers were down. So they said, hey, you're white now.
They're Caucasian now.
You're white, yeah.
So are Asians.
They take offense to that, actually.
Yeah, so are Asians. Some do.
Middle Easterns. All that stuff, it's all caucus.
Right.
People do not know that. Well, when you say white people, or you say Caucasian people, it's like...
Mexicans, a lot of Mexicans are considered white too.
Because they're half Spanish. Spanish and Indian made a Mexican. Mm-hmm. You know, Puerto Rican was black and Spanish made a Puerto Rican. So
and a lot of them like that.
Yeah. I think if all this wouldn't have happened,
there's a power.
We wouldn't have had people. There wouldn't have been a Mexican. Think about that. Spain didn't make it here. There's no Mexican. Spain didn't come this way. There's no Puerto Rican.
What was that before they came though? It's not like it was empty. It wasn't just dry land.
But Spain wasn't here though. So the Spain. No, obviously you had those that were native to this
all
land.
over the globe.
All over. But
what did they look like?
Who? I don't know what everybody looked like. How would I know what everybody looked like?
Sure, they were darker.
Of course, from over that way.
And the artifacts suggest that they were darker.
Here?
Yeah, and down in Mexico.
Most definitely. It's hot.
In South America.
Anywhere closer to the equator geographically, if you think that people are
and
white.
And there's still originals there.
Yeah. Jews are actually darker people. A lot of Jews are darker people. Look at the equator. I've always been geographic, like when it comes to, wait a minute, so this doesn't make any sense. It's like, dude, look at the equator.
But it wasn't like small little Bethlehem and
no. I'm speaking strictly only of the forming of America. I'm not speaking of anything else.
Well, there were people here too.
Native Americans were here, obviously. There were other people here. Native Americans? I don't really like it. Because they're the natives to the land.
Right.
Yeah,
that's the only reason I respect that. I don't like African American. I think that's bullshit. Personally.
I might not be from Africa. I might be a Native American.
Thank you. So African Americans bullshit then, right? I really don't think I think it's kind of bullshit. Like you can't just call somebody something.
Yeah, you can't say I'm from Africa.
Thank you.
I might not be from
300
Africa.
I might not. I don't know anything about.
But originally.
Thank you. That's what
I'm
we got.
Sure.
I think originally we're all from over that way. Period.
Yeah.
I won't even dispute the fact.
To a degree.
To a degree, I think we're all over there. I'm the same one. I think angels fell from heaven. So just leave me alone. That's how we got Caucasian people. I don't know. That's my belief. Right? That's just my belief. I don't know. For sure. We'll all find that out, I think, when we check out. But
right,
you know what I mean? It's like when I check
all
out,
your ancestors are there, like
they're like,
Jim Bob,
you were really white. Shit, that's how I got the banjo. You know what I mean?
Right.
I know I like corn for a reason. But Jimmy cracked corn and he ain't care. Why should I give a fuck? I'm just saying. Yeah. Why are we gonna crack on Jimmy because he cracked the corn? But did you know that? Oh, that's another one. Cracker. That came from Caucasian people. I'm Caucasian people. No, cracking corn. Cracking corn. You've never heard that Jimmy cracked corn and I don't care. Jimmy crack. Literally, the upscale Caucasian people would crack on the lower end Caucasian people that were cracking corn. They were corn crackers. That's what they did. So that's where it wasn't cracking the whip.
Oh, okay.
I had to I studied, man.
What about hunky?
Yeah.
Hungarians.
No.
Yes, I spoke to some natural. My wife's half Hungarian.
So they call them hunkies?
Yeah, they call their cookies hunky cookies and everything. Yeah, it came from Hungarians.
I've heard other stories.
Really? I haven't. Tell me.
I heard that.
The difference between honky
and hunky are two different. Yeah, true statement. You have hunk with a U hunky. And then O and hunk, and so I don't know if they're. It's just like GG or GGAER. I mean, when it comes down, I think we've all twisted and turned words.
I've heard that during the Depression.
Okay.
There was a lot of there weren't many jobs for black people. Obviously, there weren't jobs for much anybody.
Period.
So if you weren't like a doctor or a lawyer or a dentist, a highly skilled professional, you were a pimp or a hoe.
Period.
Mm-hmm. And the white men off the horns. That was the main customer because they had money.
Oh.
So they called them, hey, there's a hunky out there.
Oh.
Really?
There were guys pimping their sisters, their cousins, their whatever they could do to survive. It was
I gotta
survival
research that. I've
skill.
never heard that.
Yeah, so
That makes sense.
They would blow the horn and
I'm on that.
call the honkies. But if you go back in history and talk to people and say, hey man, you think your great great grandmama sell pussy?
I gotta ask. My daddy was a pimp. My mama was on. So I gotta ask.
See?
I was from the 70s though.
Yeah, I mean,
at least I made it off the depression.
they had a lot of them had to do what they had to do. I'm not
No,
pimp hoeing or
See, I wish they would tell their stories though.
Or whole
I wanna
shaming.
know,
I would
like,
love to know.
I want to know what's in me. Like, if you want some pussy, tell me. Because
Thank you.
That's part of the demons I'm
If
fighting.
Mr. Danny was my daddy,
She
don't
said,
tell me.
the demons I'm fighting.
No,
Oh, I got this urge. Oh my God, I think I want to sell some pussy.
no.
Oh my God.
I'm fighting this demon.
I've been wanting it. Lord help me.
No, oh my God. Okay, man, that sounds good.
No, tell me. She's like, no, y'all ruined it. What? Like, no.
I know. They don't tell stories. I tried talking to my grandma, and I was upset because she doesn't talk.
You're like,
And so,
Grandma, I get these bills and I just like get to sweat.
I'm thinking about hiring a couple people. Now, I want to know if this will work. Now, there's this girl I work with. Grandma's like, well, baby, them bills got to get paid.
listen, I'm not gonna lie though. I did have that. Not me selling it, but I did have that thought once. Like, these guys would like buy some, but like
Bro,
I would.
Talk to
If
my
I
wife.
could get a couple girls together.
Thank you.
I mean,
Krista, I hope you're watching this podcast.
You know, the funny thing.
I've been saying
The
that.
funny thing about that, though, surprisingly, is prostitutes are least likely to catch STDs.
I've been saying this forever. Not because I
That's
know nothing
true.
about it. I'm just
Are
saying.
they really?
Yes. They are
Their
way
immune
more
system?
protected than
By
a drunk girl in the bar.
Why?
She said their immune system.
Why though? I
I built up an immune system.
don't get it. Why?
I was looking for that answer. That was dope.
Why
Because they know what they're doing.
Yes.
though? Okay.
They're smarter.
They're preventive.
They're preventive, right?
Okay.
The girl that just took 2 shots in the blunt, about to go chill with Netflix, she ain't thinking about nothing.
Yeah.
She's about to get cramped.
Right.
With no regards. It's
Okay.
just what it is.
But the prostitutes are professionals.
She's a pro. So she's going to actually take precautions to not get messed
A
up.
lot of times they have less sex than you would think.
Yes.
A lot of guys just want to talk and that. And
There are a lot of tricks out here that will pay you just to be spoken to be
Yeah,
1,000%. I
that.
know them.
I believe that.
I happen to have his mom that would know a lot. So yeah, for real. And again, I will never, and I never did knock the profession. It was always, I'm not going to contribute to your profession.
It's part of
But I
American
won't knock
history.
it.
It's
It
the
helped
world
build
history.
America.
Especially within the black community, I would think.
Even the white community. Look at the Old West. It was
It's
none
the
but
oldest
brothels.
profession
It's
known
the
to man.
oldest profession
Yeah.
known to man, probably next to Mason.
But I mean, a lot of black folks had to survive.
Yeah.
So,
Pimping was big. Yeah.
I mean, they had, it's the first law of nature, self-preservation.
Ooh.
So, if I take away, that's another point. The movie Trading Places, genius movie.
Yeah. Eddie Murphy.
Because if I take away everything, your will to survive, you're going to create
Something.
something. You're
Yes.
going to commit a crime.
Well, they say necessity is the mother of all inventions.
Yeah, it's guaranteed you're going to commit a crime. And I think that's what white supremacy has
Was that the
done to
setup?
the lower class they've created in America.
Was
Lower
there ever
class
a way
are
for it not
geniuses.
to
They
happen
could
though?
Billionaires.
True
The
statement. Well, the
work
hustle. If
ethic
you
is
take and
amazing.
apply the hustle to something on paperwork, oh my lord,
Yeah,
they'll excel.
Yeah.
They'll excel. But I often wonder though, looking back, and I heard somebody say, they said they were taking the phrase "Make America Great Again," and the question was, when was America ever great? And they said that the only time they could look back that America was great was after the Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
And right after the Civil War.
Directly after the
How
Civil
do
War.
you guys how?
Because-
I don't think
that's
it was
true.
ever great.
That's like it was never great.
It was
Well,
never
but
great.
here's the thing. Think about
Financially,
all over
Yeah.
the place.
Especially financially.
Yes, the equality in the senses of that's mine, that's mine, that's mine, that's mine. Everybody had their own. It like almost separated. When segregation stopped, like I really believe what Killer Mike actually said in a sense it ruined almost everything that was built up until that point.
An old man told me that on my paper route
And
when I was about 12
like-
years old.
It sounded crazy.
And I thought he was crazy.
But no, he wasn't.
And then I thought about it.
It's true.
I'm delivering my newspaper. This old man lived on the corner of my block. He said he fixed lawnmowers and worked on cars and he had a big, nice house and everything. He's a country guy. He says, He says, "Hey, John." He said, "Do you know what messed us up as black people?" I said, "No. What? You know, I'm a kid." I'm like,
Right.
What?"
Right.
He's like, "The end of segregation." I said, "What? That's
What are you
crazy."
talking about? You sound crazy. Right?
I'm saying,
That's the first thing
I said, "This dude is
Sound
crazy.
nuts.
What is he talking about?" He said, "No, John, think about this." He said, "When you had to get your car fixed, you had to go to a black person.
Mm-hmm.
When you wanted to eat, you had to go to a black person. Now they tell you, hey, you can spend money with white people, and everybody runs their money
Yeah, we
over
talked
to the
about
white
that.
people."
Yeah, where they were fighting to.
And they were
Yeah.
fighting to
Arguing
sit at the
to sit
table.
Now, what
yeah.
does that
Yes.
do to the black business?
Puts him out.
I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
It's true too.
Yeah.
it's deep.
It's deep, and it's where again, I don't know if everybody's intentions were what they were back then. I don't know. I don't even know if everybody that had people that they owned were bad people. I don't know. Owning people already sounds crazy as shit, but back then everybody
It was so,
it was very you were coming from countries that owned people.
yeah.
So
And if you were born
with
that, it
then
was like
you just
the norm.
it was a natural. It
Like,
was-
hey, who's that nigger over there belong to?
Thank you.
You know.
So to start right there,
Right.
think about it? I don't know where the first slaves actually came from. I know it was the Dutch that brought them over. I do know that.
The first Americans.
American slaves were Dutch. Do you think that a possibility, looking at the
There
word,
were white slaves too.
most definitely, right? Got you. Bye, Deb.
Bye.
Bye, Deb.
but
Nice
the-
meeting you.
The word, now,
Bye.
do you think that it's possible in ignorance that some of those people came from Niger, Africa?
Oh, definitely.
And here, the word now, I guess, dictionary is saying ignorant or dirty or whatever it's saying.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So to say that if I don't understand you and you speak different, I'm gonna call you stupid because you don't speak like me.
And then King was
And-
Negus.
Nikas, exactly. And then you just came off of an actual boat. I mean, the way that they were slotted and put together.
That's not true.
Thank you, because
That's
it
not
looked
true.
crazy.
That is totally
Not
true.
true.
Not true at all. They were not put in boats like that. That
Got
was
you.
that was a picture. The picture that they always show us is a
Yeah.
picture of an example,
Okay.
but they never actually used that example.
Transport.
Also,
Okay.
all of the ships that they claim came over, that's not true. They doctored the numbers.
Got you.
The
They're
numbers,
higher
the numbers
over.
are false. What they don't want you to know is there were a whole bunch of niggas already here
Most definitely. I
that
would
they
think.
turned into slaves.
Oh,
Right. So they did bring some over, but
there were already a population of people
there was
here.
already a population of people here.
No shit.
Yeah. So then they reclassified them, which is very powerful. For example, you drinking this water, right?
Okay.
And you say, hey, I got a water. I said,
That's
no.
deep.
I said, no, that's 24. And you're like, what are you talking
You
about?
just made it something completely different.
made it
for me.
something different.
And I wouldn't know any different.
Well,
Obviously,
no,
from
different.
somewhere
Over
else.
years and time, you'd be saying, I need some 24. You know what I'm saying? So there's a power in renaming, reclassifying stuff. So when they came over and they see these dark, melanated natives, some look
Yeah.
like me,
Yeah.
some look like you,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and they're like, he's a nigga.
Period. Just because he's darker skinned
Right.
immediately.
Yeah.
Which is really
I owe him.
ignorant as fuck.
I
The
owe him
true
now.
word of ignorant.
Right.
Again, ignorant. You
Right.
ignored everything else but the tone of a color
Mhm.
and just called them
So
that
like,
way.
I own it. That's why you don't.
So really,
see-
I don't believe it. So there shouldn't be any power in that word then. Why are people lending power to that word then?
Because they don't know any better too. But when you see, when's the last time you seen a Native American?
Ooh,
You can't remember, huh?
period.
Because we're looking at each other right now,
Right.
technically.
Yeah.
Possibly, more than likely.
Right.
You understand? But what they told you is a Native American. A lot of those were $5 Indians who their families paid $5 so they can get on the scrolls to get the benefits from the government.
Period. 'Cause
And
they're
then
there.
they're white people,
Yeah.
or they might have a little color, a little
Yeah.
from
Well, they say you got to be an eighth.
Turkish, or
And
they
aid
might be
for reparations.
who knows what we're from. But no,
Right.
they don't have to. You don't have to be any when you pay the $5 to get on the scrolls. But you could just be a little darker and say, "Hey,
Oh my God.
I'm an Indian." So it was a money grab.
Got you.
They hustle. But technically, you and I could be Native Americans.
Wow. I gotta do some DNA testing, man. I got to. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That was a dope cast.
Or even your grandmother.
Yeah, possible shit. And again, everybody in my family was dark haired.
Doesn't matter.
So
it could have been Native American. If you look up the natives of any country, look at the deep native. Go all the way to the root.
okay.
Look at Australia,
Mhm.
right?
Well, their
Look
rule
at
was
the
cats,
natives
wasn't it?
from Australia.
They don't really have a native, do they?
They
Well,
did.
technically,
Right.
Aborigines, I mean, they
Very
were
dark.
castaways.
Very exactly.
They
Very
were cast
dark.
off there. Like
Yeah.
they were sent.
Anywhere you look at go to the root. Anywhere where there's resources.
Okay.
Because in Europe there weren't many resources.
No. The less
it's
of.
called- That's what caused white supremacy too, and they were dying and killing each other
Yes.
up in Europe.
Huge.
Yeah, and that's
Huge.
what made them good fighters too.
Huge. That was like their thing. Torture came from there. Like
Mhm.
real
And then-
torture.
Yeah, then you got the
Real. England. Oh my God.
then you got the Vikings that gave
Mhm.
birth to the Vikings. Those were nothing but pirates
Mhm.
going around looting and pillaging.
Mhm.
You know, and then
And they're mixing because they're obviously they rape the women,
yeah,
kill the men,
right,
take the booty,
right. So over
meaning the treasure.
the treasure over
But
time.
they took the booty too.
Over time,
That's
the
horrible.
resources change, the financial structure change, and it becomes a bigger booty to take.
To take.
Right.
Wow. Well, stop taking in the booty, y'all. I don't mean that in any senses of sex, actually. I mean it in the senses of actual society. If you don't want to sit at the table, and that table ain't to sit at for you, man, go sit at your table. Go be happy in your house. Go ahead, be happy with your people, if that's the case. I think everybody should look to just be happy.
Over time, white supremacy is I
like every fucking body to be whole. Like I really want to chop it up with everybody, but I found in life at 40 though. Not to interrupt you. That's hard.
White supremacy
Chop
is
up
a
everybody.
corrupt system, and
Okay.
eventually it will be replaced, but it won't be replaced with another corrupt system. It shouldn't.
Right.
Like black supremacy, that's equally
Right.
retarded.
And you know what though?
It
But
should
that's
be
out there though.
replaced. Yeah,
Like,
a
that's
lot of
what's
people
sad,
think that. Yeah, they're just as ignorant
It's
because
just-
they don't know
yeah.
any better because they
True.
grew up in white supremacy. So they think, well, I want to replace it with black supremacy, but that's equally retarded.
Yeah.
But it has to be replaced with a non-corrupt system of justice, simple justice. That's it.
We should just go back to the eye for eye. I really believe that worked. Granted, yeah, you have that setup element, but that eye for eye really worked. What it did is it instilled. Look at the crime in other countries.
You know, a lot
It
of people
instilled
do.
the fear in other criminals. I'm not taking no church out. Why? They dude lost his member. I'm not stealing nothing. My dude lost his hand. I'm not
Right.
running from nothing. My man lost his foot. Like, and I'm not lying. My tongue came out. Like,
A
when it
lot of
came down to
people-
it, people were like, all right, never mind. I'm going to just raise kids and shut up.
A lot
I
of
got
people
cattle.
live by that today secretly.
Secretly. Yes.
I read a book called The Turner
What time was it?
Diaries. 2:20.
Oh, shit.
Right. I read a book called The Turner Diaries. This is like the white supremacist Bible. I swear, the book is scary in a sense, but I learned a lot. And what these stomped down white supremacists believe is, in a sense, eye for eye.
Okay.
So if you arrest my brother falsely or kill my brother falsely,
I have to.
I'm going to kill your brother.
Yes.
And they live by that and they let that be known. Which is, I'm like, damn, that's pretty good.
I mean, it's savage, it's gangster, but it just seems like it will put people in place, no matter who you are.
yeah.
Like,
So people think twice. That's why we don't get a lot of convictions.
that's why if everybody was armed,
Right
I think
now.
people would think
Because
twice.
and you don't know who is connected to who, so you arrest this person or you think about convicting them, you might get a letter in the
Thank
mail
you.
saying, hey, I know your address, I know where your kids go to school.
Thank you. Thank you.
Watch your conviction.
Yeah.
And then they're like,
They're going to think twice.
yeah,
Thank you.
okay.
I think that's how it should be.
But,
More like
right. So when a police officer kills a black person, eye for an eye, technically, I think, should falsely
Falsely. Keyword
kills,
falsely.
falsely kills,
Falsely.
unarmed,
Yeah.
or murders, I should say.
Murders. Definitely. 'Cause
Murder.
a kill is a
Like,
righteous
yeah, right,
almost act.
right. Yeah, 'cause
Murder
sometimes
is
they
real.
gotta kill.
Thank you.
But I'm saying,
yeah,
right,
most
I'm
definitely.
saying,
most definitely.
Unlawful murder.
Yep.
There
There should be. You should lose something. You should lose something just as precious to. You should lose a precious piece of life of yours.
Right.
If I went out here,
take one of mine.
If I went out here and took one of anybody's right now, and we all know I used to have a temper, like I would attempt to take you up off this earth and send you home to meet our Father with no qualms and go to bed at night like a baby. But had I known, if that happened, that actually would set a course for my child, or my dad, or my brother, or my sister, fuck no, I would have been real chill. I'd have been like, you know what? No, I love my kids and my family too much to put them under. She's a officer of the law, or she's a school teacher, or my brother's a basketball player. Like none of this is real. It's just example. But why would I want my knucklehead decisions to get them whacked? It would make everybody act. You'd have to act right.
Right.
And if everybody was armed because they were told to. Meaning, again, you have to register a pistol.
Well, just treat people how you want to be treated. That's all.
I treat people way better than that.
Yeah, a lot of times.
I do. You know that. And I know you do too.
Yeah.
I said that I think me and you were talking about that. Me and my buddy B. I can't treat people the way that I want to be treated. Like, I treat people way better than I expect. I would never expect a person to treat me the way I treat them. I don't believe they got the energy. I don't. I'm not being cocky, pissy, shit. I really live by a code of respect. Mm-hmm. I respect people as if they are gods. Mm-hmm. Like they are actually created by God in his image. So I'm not trying to disrespect you, come at you crooked sideways or overhead or underway. But
you know, it's fun. One of my coworkers,
when you disrespect me, that's why
one of my coworkers said, John, you know a lot about race relations. This lady, she said, I said, yeah, you know, I do a lot of studying. You know, I'm affected by race relations. She's a nice lady. She said, so you don't like white people? I said, what make you say I don't like white people? That's retarded.
The conversation just to say, I love Caucasian people.
I'm like, that's retarded. I said, I got white
crazy.
Family members. What do you mean? I said, I don't like white supremacists. And if you feel like I'm inferior because I'm black, or you're superior because you're white, I don't like you.
No, we're not going to get along.
We're not going to get along. I said, but I ain't not against white people. I'm talking to you. We're friends. What are you talking? She said, yeah, that's what I thought. I was just making sure.
But you know what I found out? We can even end on this. I found out the difference. A lot of people, I've met people out, obviously, here. Not specifically Lindsay, but just in the country in general, rural areas in general. They swore up and down they were racist.
That they were?
They were. They really believed that. They thought that in their heart. You know, I don't like these people. I don't like these people. I don't like these people. But I like you. I like you. The way you talk, the way you speak. You respect people. You're cool. You work hard. I'm like, so is this what you don't like about all these other people you're talking about? They're like, no, I was raised this way and I just don't like these people because of that. But you're cool. Like, you're super cool people. And one guy's name was Cody. I said, Cody, you know what I really believe? I think you're prejudiced. I don't think you're a racist. There's a difference. A person that prejudges a person, whether it's on skin or a walk, doesn't matter. It's prejudice. It's prejudice. Asian people drive bad. If I even meant that, that's prejudice. Mm-hmm. You know, black people sag their pants. That's prejudice. It's prejudging something. But it's also assessing a situation. People think that you can't profile. You have to profile.
Right.
We come from a place, if you don't profile, then trust me, we'll holler at you. You're going to be down here sleeping somewhere. Right. Because you have to profile those movements. So you can tell, walking upon a person, if they hate you, it's written all over their face when they look at you, this as if you had a whole bunch of old meat, spoiled meat tied to your body. And they're just like, that's that look, and it's all over the world. I've seen that look all over the United States, like in different places, and it means the same shit. But it does. It's the same face that bends up.
Yeah.
Like somebody farted right on you. Like
a Negro.
It looks like they're everywhere now, Don. And it's just like, damn. Okay, cool. But when I really stop to look at it, it's like, yeah, I really believe that there's more prejudice than there actually is racism. At least I hope. I think I'm really still like a hopeful person, really, when it comes down to it. Because with each person I meet,
But prejudice is an illness of racism, though.
I think it's a start.
You think that's the start?
I think it's bred, meaning it's taught. It's obviously taught, but
I think at the base is racism, and then there's prejudice.
prejudice?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think it's. I can watch TV and become prejudiced.
Because people don't know
Or
why
the news.
there is. Technically, the root of racism is a financial construct, social, financial.
Social.
construct.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
That creates other illnesses like prejudice. Because
To
people don't know.
prejudge those people after they have that already seed planted.
So you're like, they're like, oh, they're dirty over there. Look at they live in the hood. Well, that's the hood was created out of racism. There has to be a hood for there to be
I think
a nice white neighborhood. There's got to be a bad black neighborhood.
Yeah, there's got to be a less to be a more.
Right.
I said that. You don't think? Do you ever think that migration? Again, there are millions of people, 4.3 or more, that came up at one time. The Great Migration from the South to the North.
Mm-hmm.
Where was everybody supposed to go? You know, when slavery ended and segregation stopped, it's like, okay, everybody, you're free.
Yeah, that's what they
You don't own no land, no house,
Yeah.
no horse, no donkey. Where was everybody supposed to go?
Well, a lot
And then
of
you got
them,
the jail system formed on that, and then
a
that
lot of them went back
forward
to slavery in a sense, but
immediately.
it was
at a low wage.
right.
At a very low wage.
Mm.
Man, we got to do this again.
Right.
Definitely. Man, we love y'all. God bless. One love, John, the phenomenon in the house. Deb had to take back off, but man, you guys have a good, blessed rest of the week. Sorry about last week, but we'll see you guys on Tuesday next week at 1:00. On the other side of the view.